Welcome to Post Fight with Ray Thompson. This show is powered by MMA Crypt and MMA Mental. For more interviews and podcasts, please subscribe to our YouTube channels, MMA Crypt and MMA Mental. You can also follow MMA Crypt on Facebook and Twitter. It's at MMA Crypt on Twitter and MMA Crypt on Facebook. To follow me, it's at MMA Mental on Twitter and Ray Thompson on Facebook. I'm now joined by Tim Dirty Bird Means. Tim's coming off of another UFC victory, beating Hermani Perpetuo via unanimous decision, 29-28 on all scorecards at UFC on Fox 12. Tim, thank you very much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. It's cool.
And congratulations on picking up your third UFC victory.
Thank you.
Your record now is 21-6, and your UFC record is 3-3. Now, that was your first win at welterweight in the UFC. Was it nice to get that win?
Oh yeah, man. It's nice just to get in the win column and win. You know, I went to Legacy and I'd already been winning at welterweight, and then went and fought Magny. Lost that decision, but it's always good to get back in the win column.
Now let's talk a little bit about the build-up. Now, obviously, going into the fight, then you're facing Hermani Perpetuo. What was your views on him, and what did you know about him going into the fight?
I didn't watch any tape on him. You know, I let Coach Tom and Coach JJ and Coach Arlene handle all that. So I knew he was from the Nove Uno school there in Brazil, and I know those guys come to fight every fight out, and that in itself, I just knew I needed to come with a good all-around game and have my cardio high. So I know he had started the fight a little late against Jordan Mean, and he kind of shot out in that first round, kind of out of a cannon. And I stayed calm, just got his timing down, started figuring out the openings, and went from there.
Yeah, I was going to say, he did come off, he did shoot out of a cannon. I mean, like from the off, he came out throwing big punches. Did anything surprise you about the start of the fight?
It didn't surprise me. You know, I know the caliber of guys that train over there at that gym, and I expected him to come get in my face, and it'd be a tough fight. You know, with that being said, I'm happy the fight started out like that because I have a really good cardio, and I'm a really patient fighter. So I felt he hit me with some of his better shots, but a lot of those punches they were missing in that first round. They were either catching me in the shoulder, catching me in the hands. He threw a lot, and there was a few shots that got through, but nothing too devastating. And all I could tell myself was just stay relaxed and find his timing.
Now, all three judges scored the first round for your opponent. Did you feel you'd lost the first round?
I thought it was close. I thought I landed the better strikes in the round. I landed some short elbows, stuff like that. I think he landed one or two of those big hooks that he threw, but I thought it was close, and it could have gone either way.
Now, in the second round, you really found your rhythm. You controlled the distance and the striking. How did you feel the second round went?
I felt I dominated in the second round. I really had the rhythm down. I threw a front kick later in the round that tweaked his arm pretty good. I wasn't too sure if his arm had clicked. Like I felt like a click. I wasn't sure if it was my foot slapping on his forearm or if it was his actual forearm clicking. And going into the third, I looked over to the round. I seen him kind of complain about the arm, but when he come out in the third, he had a real good poker face on. I couldn't tell if he was actually hurt or if he was playing possum, trying to get me to run into something. But I definitely won the second round.
Now, going into round three, then, did you feel there was a chance that it was one round each going into that final round?
I felt it could have been 1-1, depending on, I hit that takedown kind of early in the fight, but I didn't hold the position long enough, so I felt I could either been up 2-0 or 1-1, but I definitely needed to win the third round. Now,
in the third round, Perpetuo was goading you with his hands down by his side. What was your reaction to that?
I wasn't sure, guys fight with that lower, that hand low like that, put that jab and camouflage the hook. with his poker face and his intensity, I wasn't too sure that he was hurt, until I think later in the round I landed a little bit of a kick and I saw his arm kind of just go limp, and that's when I realized that his arm was actually hurt. But it was only like a minute left in the round, and he was really on his horse, kind of staying away. And when you have a guy hurt, you can't just blitz in. You could get bit yourself. So. He was throwing some fireballs in his hands, so I really didn't want to run into anything, but I also wanted to catch him with something. But I'm a patient guy, and I'm going to wait for the right opening before I get into a crazy brawl. So I knew his arm was broke when he came up to me after the third, and he told me he had hurt his arm, but I thought he kept it together really good, and he didn't really let me notice he was hurt.
Now, when it went the distance, how confident were you that you had done enough?
I knew I'd won the fight. I even said in the camera we won, but you never know about judges, so I'm still a little nervous. Just for what judges see at times. Sometimes the judges don't show up to watch fights. I knew I'd won the fight. I just didn't trust the judges. So I was happy to hear that they were watching the fight that I felt I had been fighting.
Yeah, I thought the decision was a fair decision. I personally scored it 29-28 as well. Now, we've seen you fight in the UFC at welterweight and lightweight. Do you plan to stay at welterweight?
Yeah, I'll stay at welterweight. Unless they get a weight class at 165, 167, somewhere in there, I'll continue to fight at welterweight. So. I haven't got back in the gym just yet this week. I have to go get an X-ray of my hand. I went into the fight with a busted hand, so now I got to go make sure that there's nothing broke, which I'm pretty confident. I had an X-ray right before I flew out to San Jose, and I didn't have a fracture or a break in my hand. I just hyperextended the tendons in my knuckles or the ligaments in there, and so I go get an X-ray to get cleared up for the 180-day suspension that I have. But I don't think there's anything broken in there. Just a little swollen up.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope there's nothing. I hope that's nothing too serious. Now, once your injury's healed, then ideally, when would you like to fight next? And do you have your eye on a possible opponent?
There's no possible opponents just yet. I haven't sat down and talked to the coach about anything, and we haven't talked to Joe Silva. But at least one more fight before the end of the year. As soon as I go get this X-ray today, I plan to be back running and doing my cardio this week. So getting back in the weight room, which I've been spending a good amount of time. So I'm feeling strong. I just haven't got no muscles on my skinny frame yet. So I look to just continue to stay in the weight room and run through those strength and conditioning circuits that we've been doing, and I feel like they're starting to pay off. So I want to continue.
Well, Tim, I really appreciate you giving me your time, and as I already said, congratulations on picking up another UFC victory.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for the talk.
Before we let you go, I'd like to give you some chance to do some shout-outs. Is there anyone you want to thank, trainers, sponsors, and also let the listeners know about your Facebook and your Twitter?
Yeah, at me is Tim is the Twitter. Tim Dirty Bird Means is the Facebook. I always want to thank my team here at Finn HB in Albuquerque, New Mexico, my coaching staff here, and then just the sponsors and the supporters I had on my gear. Can't remember all their names right now, so I don't want to disrespect anybody, but everybody that was on my gear and supported me through the fight, I just want to thank all those guys, and they know who they are.
Well, I hope that injury is nothing too serious, Tim, and I look forward to seeing you step back into the cage.